Peace and love to everybody that's watching the recorded version. Gonna let some people get into the live stream. LG, how are you? Yeah, I think you are the first one. Yeah, thank you, thank you. Like I'm gonna try my best to be more active on this channel, man. I've been real busy, but I'm gonna try my best to be more active, do some more live streams, get things rolling. Wait a minute or two for some more people to get in. Shout out to everybody. Maddie Champ, London's in the building. Shout out to London. Like I said, we're gonna let everybody get in the live stream. A minute or two. For those that are in the chat room right now, you guys ready for this solstice energy? What are you guys getting into for the solstice? While we're waiting for a couple people to get in the chat room. Look like it's about to be a heavy storm where I'm at. Amal Ra, shout out to you. Thank you for coming into the live stream. Gemini season is ending. Hey, well, happy belated birthday, LG. Well, you know, let's see. Hold on while I check something real fast. We about to get started. Amal Ra. Thank you. Yeah, basically, again, before I touch into the lesson, again, I'm going to be speaking on some of the lies and some more lies and deception in the spiritual community. I got to put it out there. But as far as the solstice, just to break it down, we got to talk about the 4 points of energy, which are Aries, Cancer. Obviously, we're at Cancer's portal, Libra, and Capricorn. Okay, and so what happens is that there's a concentration of energy during these points, and this is why these points are so emphasized everywhere in history, everywhere in mythology, anywhere that you can possibly go and find information or scriptures or writings. They're always talking about these 4 points, the four cardinal signs of astrology. This is actually what the cross represents. Okay, but that's a whole nother lesson. But if you look at the cross, it's the 4 points. Okay, it's Aries, Cancer, Libra, and Capricorn. So basically, it all really depends on which direction you're trying to go into. Actually, uh, it depends on what you're trying to manifest. Now, there are some certain rules with each point because you got to understand what sign rules. Okay, so we're talking about the portal of Cancer, the energy point of Cancer. Okay, so this actually is one of the biggest points. Capricorn's point and Cancer's point are the biggest points as far as portal wise. Now, they do say the most important one is Aries, but again, it really doesn't matter. But as far as this energy, we're talking about what Cancer rules. So um, this is gathering your resources, basically. Okay, just pretend you own a farm, right? And again, in the springtime, you plant your seeds and stuff like that. Now in this midsummer time, you gotta hike up the work. You gotta gather. You can't do this by yourself. You gotta gather your team. So and as far as like a business, this is the time for you to gather your team, gather your family. All right. There's plenty of different ways you can prepare for this. You can prepare by fasting. You can prepare by as far as energy wise, some people like to fast on the solstice or the equinoxes. You can also indulge, because the thing about Cancer is indulging in things that you love and desire. All right, that's the one of the beautiful things about Cancer. Cancer indulges just like Taurus, right? Okay. So you don't necessarily have to fast if you don't want to. Okay. um I mean, to be honest, it really, really, if you want deep, deep details, you have to really look at your chart. Like I said, it really is up to you. You have to look at your chart. What is your purpose? What is your path? And then, if you know your chart, again, anybody who's got a reading with me, you need to check your chart. You need to check where I was telling you the direction of the chart is going. And then you want to apply this information, or you can set up a consultation with me, and again, I can break this down for you. But always, always look at your chart, guys. That's the map for you on how to do everything, literally. Okay. um so again, you could do rituals. If you want to do a ritual, have it centered towards the sun or Cancer. Okay, have it centered towards the sun or Cancer. Manifestation is really, really powerful in every single point, solstice or equinox, because again, this is the portal. So if you think about the matrix, right, it's numbers, right? It's like the computer. So in a nutshell, these portals are like glitches within the computer. So there's so much you can do with this, and this is why it's such an essential time period, and this is why it's even celebrated. If you notice, it's celebrated all around, regardless of people if they're even into spirituality. That's how much has been put into our society and our subconscious mind, that we automatically want to celebrate during this time. Okay. So my friend finished making his own symbol structure for improvement today. Mind if I drop a new website link real quick on here? Of course. Drop your website link. Peace, brother. Glad to see you. Thank you, wrestling superstar. Uh Smooth one. Yeah. If you're not getting notifications, guys, make sure that you hit that bell next to the subscribe button. This way you will get those notifications, because a lot of people tell me, I'm always, I didn't even know you were still making videos, or I haven't seen your videos pop up and I'm not getting any notifications. It's because YouTube had to be stupid, right? And change the game. But that's how it is, man. Like, you gotta change with the time. So the new time is that, in order for you, it doesn't even, subscriptions don't even matter at this point anymore, really. All right. It matters who hit that bell. Okay. So make sure, if you're subscribed to me, if you're not, obviously subscribe, but um make sure you hit that bell notification next to the subscribe button. Have you ever fasted before? Yes, I do, once a year. Okay, I try to fast for 3 days. Again, I mean, other people do longer. They do 7 days. Uh, you know, it doesn't matter. But again, I always do 3 days. Okay, because what I also do once a year is I detox for 30 days. All right. So I'm still consuming food, but very, very healthy food. Okay. Greetings, Goddess in Motion. Thank you for tuning into the live stream. Um, yeah, so the 3 days I do for fasting once a year, but I also do detoxing for 30 days. Okay. So this is me taking herbs. This is me really focusing on a raw food diet, which I'm pretty much in need of one sometime soon. I don't know if you guys noticed, but I had gained some weight, man. I've been eating kind of healthy lately. No, it's just I've been so busy. I haven't really had the time to do my morning rituals, the yogas, the jogging. I like to run. It's good for the mind. So my morning rituals have been getting cut because uh I've been doing so many readings, and then I created a new business. Once things get smoothed out, I'll be able to focus on my regimen again, and I'll be able to get my body back and my energy back in order. Okay, so let's see who we got in here. All right. So I guess we can start the lesson. Again, this is the lies and deception of the spiritual community. This is a big topic because we got to talk about some of this stuff, man. There's a lot of things constantly floating around on the internet. And remember what I told you guys before, it's real easy to fall into this because anybody has access to starting a blog or making a YouTube channel or getting on Facebook and doing whatever. And it's very easy to do. And it's a good thing because then we have great speakers that, come to the scene, um, great individuals that come to the scene. And yes, we do have some great individuals that have popped up in, the last couple of years, but it also creates a wave of just everybody else that's faking it until they make it. Because like I said before, what they do is that they find a YouTube video, listen to it, then just make their video or their blog and regurgitate the same thing. What I've noticed also is that some even go as far as like the people that write blogs. Sometimes these individuals literally go to another blog and copy all the text and just put it on their blog. Like it's extreme plagiarism. you know. And I've taken some text, but what I always do when I do that is I always cite the source that it came from. Okay. I always say, written by such and such or written by the link to the website. Okay. But some people just literally just take the whole body of the post and literally post it and just have it. It's crazy, ridiculous today. So Almond Ra, you're saying, do you break out a lot on your detox? I'm guessing you're talking about skin breakouts. No, everybody's different. All right. Everybody's different. When it comes to detoxing, some people get diarrhea, some people get headaches. Me personally, it depends on how toxic I've been beforehand. And I do the kind of work that I take a lot of toxicity in from all different sources. Okay. But that's just the game. Again, like I said, this is the game, guys. You can't be scared of toxicity. You have to maneuver and build yourself up. Okay. So, for example, if I'm doing consultations trying to help people through their problems, the individual is putting their problems on me. They're putting their toxicity on me, energetic wise. Okay. And that's a part of the game. Okay. That's just is what it is. Every time you're in conversation or your connection with somebody, it's an exchange of energy. All right. But yeah, as far as your question, Almond Ra, Amal Ra, everybody's different. I don't break out or anything. I usually get weak, like physically weak. If I've been really, really toxic, like when I'm going through my detox, man, it's like hard for me to pick up simple stuff because I just want to I just want to lay in my bed and relax and do a lot of meditation. But yeah, I usually get physically weak. I don't break out, but everybody's different. Okay, so Smooth Nine, that's why I like listening to people who share the actual spiritual experience. Yeah, that's true. Samurai Lee, peace to you, peace to you. So the first lie and deception, which is a big, big one. This is a hot topic. I should have put it in. I'm gonna make another video on this particular topic because I should have put it in the title too. Is the big bad Mercury retrogrades or any retrograde? Okay, now show of hands, who has heard a whole bunch of junk? Excuse me, guys. I'm laptop is about to die, so I'm putting this in. But show of hands, who has heard a bunch of crap about Mercury retrogrades? Probably everybody in this chat room, right? See, the thing is, guys, hold on while I resize this up. Yeah, Smooth Nine, yeah. Everybody. Yeah, a whole bunch of crap, you know. All this fear and all this, everybody's so scared of the big bad Mercury retrogrades. And in any retrograde, actually, that's what I'm saying. I mean, we only hear about Mercury retrogrades so much is because Mercury goes retrograde so frequently. Okay. But the thing is, the lie and deception, I don't even know where this came from because in old texts and when you do your research in okay, when you do your research in anything dealing with astrology, you got, like I said, guys, you have to learn how to do effective research. Just watching YouTube videos and just going to Google and only looking at the first page is not effective research. Anybody that's been in college knows that you can't just do that. Okay. All male. I'm sorry, all male. uh yeah, you can't just you gotta it takes some time. I mean, I know everybody is kind of lazy these days and nobody wants to put in the effort, but trust me guys, if you're going to effectively take information and actually use it in your life, you're going to want to take a little bit more extra time to do some effective research. So as far as astrology research is concerned, there is nowhere in any text that I've seen where they speak negatively on any retrograde. But here's the reason why. I've said this in many videos. The reason why retrogrades are considered bad or negative is because it's representing the feminine. What I always say, guys, it's like it's really raining over here. Hold on, guys. So so it's because it's representing the feminine. So what a retrograde does for anybody that doesn't understand is that the planet moves backwards. It's going in. Remember, I told you the feminine goes in and the masculine goes out. So again, when a planet goes direct, it's representing the masculine. When it's going back, it's representing the feminine. Anytime I lied to you not, guys. Anything in our society that represents the feminine is always a bunch of fear surrounding it. Always. Okay. You have nothing to fear in a retrograde. There's no such thing as like, oh, or your phone is going to start messing up and maybe you shouldn't hop on a plane. First of all, travel has nothing to do with Mercury. Okay. Traveling has nothing to do with Mercury. Mercury represents communication and intelligence and a host of other things, but not travel. That's Jupiter. Okay. So that's just key number one, because you don't know how many times I've even had a client told me that they try not to drive on a Mercury retrograde. I said, this is what I'm talking about. And here's another thing: with all these lies and deceptions, they always put you in so much fear. Do they not? Do they always make you fear all the time? Okay, that's all it is: fear, fear, fear. Or it's just simple miseducation. Because the next thing I'm going to talk about is simple spiritual and ritual miseducation from the lack of knowledge. But basically, okay, first of all, the first point I want to get to with the retrograde, any retrograde, but Mercury retrograde, since it's such a hot topic, is that retrogrades affect you differently depending on your chart. I mean, you probably already knew I was going to say that because I always say this with astrology. You can't get information unless you know your chart. I mean, I'm not even, I'm literally telling you the truth, just like the same thing I told you about if If you have Mars and Libra, it's going to be different for you because you don't know what your Mars is interacting with. You don't know what degree Libra is in with, with Mars. Like, I mean, it's all these different factions. Okay. So, literally, here's the funny thing. If you were born, I think somebody said they were born in a Mercury retrograde. Matt, you were born in a retrograde, right? So, when Mercury comes back in retrograde, it actually improves your chart. You see how ironic that is? Because what they're doing is lumping everybody together. But literally, if you were born on a Mercury retrograde, every time Mercury retrograde happens, you actually get a boost in energy as far as your intelligence, your thoughts, and communication. Okay. Goddess in motion. You're asking where in the natal chart can you see if somebody is born naturally or through a test tube, for example? Uh, I have no clue exactly what you're getting at. Okay. Uh, the chart, I don't really understand what you're getting to, but the chart is not, I don't know. Yeah. But yeah, so what I'm saying is, again, you have to look at your personal chart. So anybody that's born on a Mercury retrograde, you actually get a boost in intelligence, a boost in communication abilities. You actually should communicate more during these times. Okay. So let's get deeper into what a retrograde does. Because like I did say, it's moving in a feminine manner. Okay. Even if it's a masculine planet like Mars, right? If it goes retrograde, now Mars is moving in a feminine manner. Okay. So that so that means it's turning inside. So here's the thing. We got to think inside, okay? Because when something's going direct, this is your outer sphere. This is, you know, they have personal astrologers that do stuff for you every single day, right? These are very, very expensive services, by the way. Most likely only rich people have personal astrologers that they work with on a daily or weekly basis. I'm just keeping it honest because it's a lot of work. So most likely they're going to be dropping $10,000 to $20,000 a month on these individuals. But hey, it is what it is. And best believe there are rich people out there that do this. Okay. D Morgan, thank you for coming into the live stream. All right. So so during the time period, like uh let's pretend that Mars was going direct at this moment, just right now. So what's happening is Mars is affecting your outer sphere. Now, what do I mean by inner sphere and outer sphere? I mean it's affecting everything outside of yourself, other people around you, situations around you, your environment. You see what I'm saying? Now, when Mars goes retrograde, now Mars is affecting inside of you, your personality, your wants, your desires. I know this is totally new from anything that anybody has said about retrograde. This is how I know there's a whole bunch of bull crap because every time I go online and see something about a retrograde, they're talking about external things. If you ever notice that, they're talking about external things. But that's if I just told you that it's your interior, how does that make sense? And like I said, anything feminine is interior. Okay. We're talking about the inside. We're talking about the subconscious mind. Like I said, your wants, desires, your true hidden skill sets, your shadow self. These are the things that you might dislike about yourself, or other people might dislike about you. But hey, like I said, you got to feed your shadow self. It's your animal part, your beast. Okay, because it represents your body and your emotions, the scary part of you, right? Think about if you just ran on emotions and your bodily instincts. Think about that. Probably if you could watch a video of you out in the world one day, out in a city one day, and you only ran on your emotions and bodily instincts, I think you would be kind of scared and disappointed in yourself. You shouldn't be, but the way that everything is set up in society and the way they have you thinking, turn this light down. The way they have you thinking will make you feel that way. Okay? Because you're literally on autopilot. You know, like I told you, the feminine, there's no structure to it. One moment you could be up, the next moment you could be down. Next, it's just you move, you ride the wave of the universe, you ride the wave of nature. That's what it means to become one with nature, guys. You can spend all the time you want in the woods and putting your feet in the dirt and stuff. And yes, that does help and it does work. But you could do all this stuff, right? But the essential meaning of becoming one with nature is literally becoming more comfortable with your bodily instincts and your emotions, because that is what's connected to nature, guys. Okay. So let me look. I know Pluto shows where your destruction slash transformation are. For example, a friend has an issue with his eye, almost blind, and he has Pluto in his first house. And mine is in my 10th house. I've experienced huge transformation here. So I thought perhaps you can see how someone is born by planetary placement. You can't see exactly. I mean, that's still a good question, though, Goddess in Motion. You can't see fine details like that in astrology or tarot. I tell people that's another lie and deception, that they think tarot and astrology is psychic readings. Okay. Not saying there are no psychics out there, right? Because there definitely are some, but very, very few. Not as many who claim to be, of course. Just like being an astrologer, just like doing anything. Even when you get down to when you say being a rapper, right? We have the real guys who are real artists, and then you have people that are just faking it and stuff that are not really about this. It's literally present everywhere in society, where you have people that just fake it. Then you have the real. And if you noticed, people that fake it usually get the most attention. That's the ironic thing. In everything, people that usually fake it get the most attention because they play by your emotions. They know exactly what you want to hear. So they play on that and they give you exactly what you want to hear. So then it feeds, it's like a domino effect, because that's how running the sheep is. If you're running a pack of sheep, everybody just follows everybody else, unless you're the black sheep and you're walking on the side. Okay, so that's what it means to be an occultist as well. You're no longer a part of the sheep who just move according to everybody else. All right, so you can't see fine details in tarot or astrology. Okay, like little fine details, like exact, like you said, how somebody was born. Okay, like if they were born at somebody's house or if they were born at the hospital, you're not going to be able to see that, because truthfully, it really doesn't matter. Now, here's the thing: you can see stuff like if you've had a large amount of trauma in your early childhood, because best believe if you were born in a hospital, that's trauma. Okay. Yeah, I was born in a hospital myself. I'm pretty sure most of you were born in a hospital. If you weren't born in a hospital, well, you're lucky. But all of us that were born in a hospital have trauma deep down inside. Okay. So again, retrogrades, it's representing the feminine. Okay. There's nothing to be afraid of. All right. Which you should be asking yourself, okay, when a planet goes retrograde, like I told you, now it's affecting your inner sphere. All right. So during that time period, let's just take Mercury. All right. It's going to be playing on your thoughts, your true thoughts, the thoughts that you don't really have control over, because it's feminine, it's the subconscious mind. So it's going to be kind of dispersing that out into your face so you can see the reflection. Okay. So if you've harbored a lot of bad thoughts and you've harbored a lot of bad communication with yourself and others, okay, Again, if you harbored a lot of bad thoughts in conversation with others, and you haven't been using your intelligence, which is your ability to analyze, okay, then that reflection is going to be shown to you during your retrogrades. You see, it's going to be made apparent to you in some way, form, or fashion. Or it has nothing to do with you shouldn't hop on a plane or you shouldn't call somebody or your phone might break or something. Has nothing to do with that. Messing up or something like that is going to be more affected when Mercury is going to go on direct, because that's out of you. That's your outer sphere. Okay, so if Mercury uh is being uh Mercury is in contrast with another planet at the moment, right? Your Mercury is going direct and it's in contrast with another planet in your chart at that moment, then you might experience some communication problems. But it's exactly the opposite of what everybody's talking about in the retrograde, right? Because like I said, the problems are external, so that means it's going to be when Mercury goes direct. But it's not going to be every single time Mercury goes direct, though. You can't. There is no, oh, as soon as Mercury goes direct, there's going to be a problem, or as soon as Mercury goes retrograde, there's going to be a problem. It's not how it works. Your everything is constantly moving. Okay. So LG, okay, I don't know why YouTube blocked your comment, but I'm about to put it back up. So how do I know if I'm actually genuine or if I'm fake? I find myself being quite a convincing bullshitter to the point where I can believe in my own bullshit, whether it actually is actually true or not. Um, I mean, if you want to get to what's real about yourself, okay, like I said, you have to look at your body instincts and your emotions. All right. The constant pull, guys, where you feel like you have two people in you. You want to go one way, but another part of you wants to go another way. You need to get familiar with this, because sometimes you're going to need to go choose this one, and sometimes you're going to need to choose that one. This is the definition of the angel and the devil on your shoulder. Now guess what? I want you to guess which one the devil plays out, masculine or feminine. If you've been paying attention to anything I've been saying in the last couple of videos, you should know which one on which shoulder represents the feminine. Does it represent the angel or does it represent the devil? All right. I want somebody to answer me. Somebody let me know you're listening. Which one, when they say you have, the devil on your shoulder and the angel on your shoulder, which one plays the masculine and which one plays the feminine role? You check something real fast as well. Can anybody answer that question for me? I know YouTube is delayed. I don't know why it's delayed. They need to update their stuff. There you go, Matt. Thank you. The feminine. Right, right. We all know the feminine is not evil and the devil, but of course they always paint that picture. That's the point I'm trying to make. Okay. They always paint the feminine to be evil. Okay. So anything dealing with the feminine side, which is your bodily instincts and your emotions, they consider to be evil. Anything dealing with your higher consciousness or your thought, okay, they deem superior and wise and perfect. Which, if that were true, okay, if everything that the masculine is was totally perfect, then we wouldn't be in the situation that we are today. We wouldn't be in the situations that we are today. Primary example is our relationships are primarily masculine, because what do we do when we think about getting into a relationship? What we do is we start conjuring up a list from our mind, right? We say, guess what? Um, I desire this, I desire that in a person, I want this in a person, I want that in a person. But as we know, real true attraction it doesn't real true attraction doesn't work like that, does it? Sometimes you'll find yourself becoming really infatuated by somebody that has totally the opposite of what you thought your taste was, or what you say your flavor is, or your recommendations in somebody else. They're like totally opposite. And you're like, why am I attracted to this person? Because that's who you're truly attracted to. That's what your chemistry, your chemicals in your body and your characteristics are attracted to. You see, it gets deep. So back to this, you know, you have to understand the two, right? Because remember, because I'm getting to LGs. I know that was really long-winded, LG, but your question, when which one should you do? Well, the true self, the subconscious mind, is who you truly are deep inside. So what you have to do is understand the knowledge of your thoughts and higher consciousness, and also your bodily and emotion, your bodily instincts and your emotions. If you can understand that language, which I can't truly give you a effective blueprint on doing this, you have to study thyself. Okay, you have to spend time with yourself and question yourself. I always tell people getting a diary is one of the most intelligent things you can do. I've been talking a lot about doing unintelligent things. One of the most intelligent things you can do as a man or a woman is get a diary and effectively write in your diary, then analyze what you've written sometime later. You want to be truly honest in your diary. Why is this important? It's because you can see who you are, you can see your patterns. All right. All the most powerful people in history all had diaries, and their uh that's how we know their personal lives. They didn't have Facebook where you can go back and see, past posts and stuff. They didn't have Instagram where they had to document. Okay. Most intelligent thing that you could do. I can't think of a more intelligent thing you can do as a human being than have a diary and study in it. Okay, self knowledge is still the most important knowledge. Yes, you have to read other people's knowledge and you have to take in other people, but we do all that all day. All day you're searching on YouTube and Google and Facebook, and you're listening to everybody else, right? All day. But when is the last time are you analyzing yourself? When's the last time you sat down and analyzed yourself? So when you start doing that after maybe months or a year or whatever, okay, you'll be able to effectively see when your mind is operating and when your body is operating. Now, this is why I said you have to balance it out, because there are times when you have to listen to your mind. You have to make a logical judgment, but there also are times where you have to make an emotional judgment. Okay, it depends on the environment you're in. It depends on the person that you're dealing with. It depends on whatever else. So again, like I said, it becomes right? It becomes very easy to navigate the matrix if you do this. Like I said, it's like a game of chess, guys. You're making chess moves. My diary title. Hey man, like I said, don't let and men out there, my men out there, don't let your friends clown you for having. I mean, you don't even got to tell nobody. Just know you're doing one of the most intelligent things that you could ever do as a human being, is have a diary, so you can effectively analyze yourself and study yourself. Like again, we go so hard in studying in college, right? We go so hard in studying astrology and stuff like that, but are you studying your own emotions? Do you know what react? Do you know what stirs your emotions up the most? Do you know what your true fears are? Do you know what actually truly makes you happy? Do you know what true deep characteristics you're attracted to in other people? Not the vague, ones that everybody says, I want somebody nice, I want somebody who's responsible, I want somebody who is smart, I want, all this. That's the cliche stuff that's not real. But do you know what characteristics you're actually attracted to? Going back again, if you're an introvert, if you're primarily introvert, because you have the introvert and extrovert inside of you. Okay, sometimes you're going to be an extrovert, sometimes you're going to be introvert. But we label you as an introvert when you're primarily you primarily act in an introvert manner. If you primarily act in an introvert manner, that means introvert of the extrovert are going to be attractive to you. Okay, that's it. Simple and plain. If you are a person that's very, very direct in your approach to things most of the time, because like I said, you're going to be indirect sometimes, right? If you're very masculine and you're very direct in your approach to things and your approach to life and your approach to sexuality, then that means you're going to be attracted to people that are indirect primarily in their approach to things. Okay, you might not logically like it because logically you're thinking, no, I need somebody that's even more direct than I am. I need somebody that's more intelligent than I am. But if you represent the logical side, guess what? You're going to be attracting the emotional side. Okay. I know I went all over the place. Yeah, opposites attract, but they think opposites meaning, I don't know what they think actually. Because I don't follow I don't follow a lot of these people anymore. Okay. Because there are some wonderful teachers out there. Like I always shout out Santos Bonacci. I mean, there's plenty others. I have them written down. I don't know where my stuff is at right now, but you know, Napoleon Hill's works are very great. There's some wonderful individuals that have walked this planet, if they're dead or alive today, that you can learn from. Okay. Yeah, LG, I have no idea why YouTube keeps blocking your comments. I don't know what you do to YouTube, man. YouTube don't like you right now. But I keep, putting the show so your comment will show up, but it just gives me the notification that they're blocking your comment for some reason. I don't even know. I have no clue why. But so yeah, I know I went all around the world just for that, but Mercury retrograde. For anybody that's just tuning in, bullshit. Okay. As far as as far as as far as when they say all this negative stuff is about to happen, okay, you need to be analyzing your thoughts, your communication skills, your intelligence. Okay, like I said, your intelligence is your ability to analyze things and categorize things. Okay, and then call upon that for when you need it. Okay, if you analyze something, you categorize it. Okay, now when you are in a situation where that information needs to come up, when we talk about somebody who's really intelligent, they have ability to grab that they had in their mind and use it that moment in that crisis or that situation. That's intelligence. So you have the ability to absorb something, analyze it, okay, then call upon it when you need it. Well, analyze. So you absorb it, analyze it, categorize it. Then you have the ability to call upon it when you need it. That's intelligence, guys. Okay, that's what it means to be intelligent. People that learn from their mistakes, right? Because if you're really intelligent, you made a mistake. You make a mistake today. Let's just say you walk down the street and you realize there's a big pit of snakes and you get bit by the snake because you tried to hop over the pit. Okay. You get bit by a snake, you survive it, and the next day, if you're intelligent, I mean, this is a really stupid example, but if you're intelligent, instead of trying to hop over that pit, now you can call upon that information that you absorbed and categorized and analyzed, and now you're going to say, instead of jumping over the pit, I'm going to go around the pit. It's just a corny example, but it's just the process of us learning. And this is why I tell you guys that you need to be making mistakes every single day. I know that's something you never hear from somebody, right? Encouraging you to make mistakes. Like, who says that? You know, an intelligent person would, though, because they know exactly, from a mistake you grow faster than from a success. Yeah, you want to celebrate your success, right? You want to enjoy that. You want to take a small time period to enjoy. You want to celebrate your milestones, but you also want to acknowledge your mistakes too, because what we do is lopsided, right? All we want to do is focus on everything that we were successful with, and we toss away everything that we made mistakes with. Again, the intelligent thing to do is to keep it balanced. You want to put just as much importance in your mistakes as your successes. And I'm trying to tell you guys, when you start doing this, you will literally change your life. Okay, Matty Champ, I appreciate you, my brother. I really appreciate your donation, no matter how small, how big it is. Appreciate anybody who donates to me. Every little bit helps, because again, I'm out here teaching. So I thank you. I'll be sending you some good energy today, Matty Champ. I appreciate you and I love you for that. So again, just a few more points with the retrograde. Like I said before, for all the new people that are in the chat, when something goes retrograde, it starts moving in a feminine matter. And that's the reason why they consider it bad or evil. Because as I've explained in many videos, and earlier in this live stream, anything that's dealing with the feminine, they consider destructive, or they consider bad, because there's no organization. But that's the beauty. It's like abstract art, guys. Not everything has to be in a straight line. If that was the case, we will be living in a robotic world. Okay, we'll be living in a world where no plants exist, no animals exist, no humans either. It will be all robots walking around. It'll be like Transformers. Anybody who knows Transformers, it's a whole world where everything is robotic, and then they come to Earth, so on and so forth. I don't know the whole story, but literally that would be a super perfect, and even, as in that society, right, they came to Earth because their world was being destroyed because it was so masculine. Okay, that's where we're headed to, right? Because we're so masculine, we keep trying to make everything so perfect. Okay, so if there's any questions, guys, always feel free to write in the chat. Again, this is a question and answer, even if it has nothing to do with the topic. I'll be happy to answer your question to the best of my ability. Okay, so the next thing I want to talk about is channeling. Now, some of you might not know what this is, but a lot of you probably do. You probably heard people like Teal Swan speak on this, that she's a channeler, or other people on YouTube who are channelers, right? If you ever notice something about these individuals, all the people who claim they're channelers, right? Do you ever notice something about them in their demeanor, that they seem really like blah, 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 blah? Let me try to open my eyes wide. I don't know why my eyes go like this. But I'm gonna try to. They just like blah blah blah, and they're so still, and they're so monotone, and they're so like robotic. You ever notice that with these people? There's a reason for that. It is because channeling, which, all right, channeling is an ancient art. Okay, that was only reserved for people, for high priest in any tribe or community. Okay, because you had to be spiritually trained for this. And we're talking about decades, years of spiritual training and cleansing, for you to do this, because dealing with spirit, guys, is no joke. I'm not here to put fear in you. I'm here to tell you the rules of this life and how it really works. Okay? Because these people are not telling you and how things really work. Spirit is real, regardless if you believe in it or not. Okay? So there are spirits roaming around. All right. There are lower beings that are roaming around that humans create. I told you before in other videos that when you suppress negative emotions, you create your own demons. They become bigger and bigger. Like, let's just say you you have a ton of anxiety and you keep pushing it down, pushing it down, pushing it down, and then it becomes like physical, but it's spiritual. Like, it's still light and movable, but it becomes like a demon. It's clinging on to you because you kept suppressing this energy. Okay, and then it becomes, like I said, it literally becomes a volcano. Okay, so again, spirit is real, and we have the proof from all of our ancestors as far as we can go back. I mean, who are you going to trust, guys? Are you going to trust these individuals who literally lie to you in every single thing that they say? I'm talking about like scientists and stuff. They lie to you everything with everything. Okay. Everything that you've been told, most likely in history and science and all this, is all upside down. Or are you going to trust our ancestors that have been saying the same thing for thousands of years? Literally, scientists are just coming up with these hypotheses and these ideas in the last like 200 years. Not even, guys, like 100, like less than 200 years compared to the thousands of years of all these individuals saying the same thing over and over again. Let's use common sense. Who are you going to trust? You know, that's what I want to know. Who are you going to trust? Okay. Everything has become industrialized. We no longer connected to nature anymore. The feminine has been purged. Okay. The feminine has been purged because we know exactly where they want to go. I know this is long-winded with the channeling aspect. So here, like I said, the reason why they're so dead is it's because they're no longer here anymore. Because I'm gonna tell you what channeling is. Again, I'm not trying to make you fearful. I'm telling you the truth of what it is. Okay. Channeling is when you let another being inhabit your being. Okay. So the reason why, now I want to tell you the reason why there was an individual for channeling in the beginning period, because let's just say a Native American tribe or an African tribe or something like that. They wanted to predict the harvest. They wanted to, they wanted to make sure that the children and the women and everybody in the tribe was okay. So they had to make sure, all right, if it was going to be a bad storm, that they can prepare for it, right? So what they would do was they would elect somebody and train somebody to channel spirit, so the spirit can give them information on the next harvest and on dealing with storms or maybe a drought or some kind of catastrophe. And guess what? As our records show, that they were always right for the most part. Okay. Yes, there have been some tragedies, but literally, if you read their texts, when they did this process of channeling, right, they would get it correct and they would have a beautiful harvest for the most part. Yes, we do have some big tragedies in our ancestors' histories, but like I'm trying to tell you, the good far outweighs the bad. Okay. Trust me on this, but just do your own research. Again, don't take my word for it. Do your own research on your ancestors. Okay. Doesn't matter if you're white, black, Asian, or whatever. Again, we all come from tribes and we all come from a point where we were one with nature at one time. Okay. Until circumstances changed. Okay. So it doesn't matter what your lineage is. You've come from living one, you've come from a group of people living one with nature and doing these things. Okay. So that's the reason why they had channeling. fast forward today, what we have is people channeling for fun. They have um no training in this. They have no idea what they're doing. They're just inviting deities to speak through them. Okay. Let me look at some of these. Turing's garden is speaking through everyone unconsciously. Is spirit? Oh, is spirit speaking through everyone unconsciously? So clear channeling would be a balanced. Uh, um, I'm not sure what you mean, Turing's garden. Can you explain a little bit better for me? Um, what I mean, all right, if you're I'll give you an example because yes, you do have a being, right? There's four levels to this. Like I always say, you have your body, emotions, your mind, your spirit, right? So literally, this is all connected though. This is all connected. This is why if you die, everything vanishes, your spirit is transferred back up. Okay. So if it wasn't connected, then if you die, your spirit would still try to stay in this form that you're in. Okay. But that doesn't happen, does it? And your mind would stay here. Also, your emotions would stay here as well. It'd be everything beside your body. You'd still be walking and you still, whatever. All right. So now what's happening is that your spirit is being concentrated in your brain. So your brain is responsible for how much spirit is being activated within you. Okay. So this is why a healthy brain, if you have a healthy brain, the healthier your brain, the more spirit you can bring into your body from your point. It's just like, all right, if this is a human being, right? You have this cord that's connected to universal consciousness. And okay, and this energy is being brought into you. It's this part of you, right? That's coming from universal consciousness because it's still all one. Remember that. Now, here's the thing with channeling, right? Okay, with channeling, right? What you're doing is, there's some spirit lingering around here, right? What you're doing is, um, you're taking another cord and putting it in your body, and the more you do that, the less you have of your original cord. I mean, guys, it's simple. Okay, it's really not complicated to understand. So, just to revert again, you have a cord. I'm trying to do it as simple as possible. So I'm explaining it like I would explain to my son, right? This is a human being. Pretend. All right. Let's use our imaginations. This is a human being. Then you have a cord going to universal consciousness that represents your spirit. When you channel, you're bringing another cord from somewhere else that you have no idea where it's coming from to your being. The more that you bring from that cord, the less you get from your original cord. So, what happens when you do this all the time? You are no longer, what happens is your original cord is dissipated, it's gone. And now another cord is replaced. You won't even know that you're not even you anymore, and you'll be speaking like this, and you will be robotic, and you will be talking like how everybody else talks when they channel. Okay, it's simple, guys. It's very, very simple. Okay, now in witchcraft 101, okay, literally the basics of rituals and witchcraft, right? The basics, guys. This is how funny this is to me that this is going around on the internet. Witchcraft and rituals 101. Probably one of the first things they let you know about is setting your aura of protection, your circle of protection before you deal with spirit. Why is that witchcraft 101, guys? Because you do not let anything in your being besides your being. Witchcraft 101. Okay. Everybody knows this that deals with that actually is in witchcraft or ritualistic things. Okay. All right. Again, this is not hard. Please don't make this a hard thing to explain. It's literally just mathematics, okay? If you have one chord coming from universal consciousness, making you you, then you take another chord and you put that chord in your consciousness. One is going to start overflowing the other, and then the original one is gone, and then now you have a new channel, okay? Haril Al Ra. Again, this is known in the community, in the occult community. I mean, it's only not known in the spiritual community that's on YouTube and Google. Okay, but anybody that does real rituals, that has was born in this society or this knowledge, or anybody that's been studying this for a long time, they're going to tell you that. Okay, so LG, you're saying, so is it possible for me to channel myself to have my deceased father speak through me? You can channel anything. Okay, that's the now you have to be really, really effective on with your spirit abilities, of course. All right, you have to be really effective. You have to really be an advanced magician, but you can literally channel spirit. Okay, but you just have to know exactly what you're doing. Now, do I advise it? Hey, guys, here's the thing: you could do whatever you want to do, because that's what an occultist will tell you. The occultist gives you the information, and you could do what you will. Okay, you could do what you will with the information. So I'm just telling you the fact of it. That's the fact. There's no argument about it at all. Like, so again, that's why you'll see people that channel, they're or they're becoming the more you do it, the more you're going to be. And it really depends on what energy you're channeling as well. Okay. The most infamous mistake was with Aleister Crowley. Does anybody know who Aleister Crowley is? All right. If you read his story, if you look at his life, there was a point in time he was trying to do what happened was he went downhill when he tried to channel one of those Egyptian gods. Okay, he didn't finish the ritual. If you remember, and anybody that knows the story, if you remember, he couldn't complete the ritual. But the whole ritual he was trying to accomplish was channeling one of the Egyptian gods. Now that's up for speculation, which one he was trying to which one he was trying to channel. Some say Anubis. That's not Anubis's real name, but I'm going to say it for the sake of information. I mean, for the sake of YouTube, the YouTube community. Uh, so Aleister Crowley, but that's still up for speculation because we don't know exactly which god he was trying to channel, but we do know he was trying to channel one of the Egyptian gods, and he failed. Okay, he failed, right, and he didn't complete the ritual. And all historians know after that point in time, that's when everything went downhill for Aleister Crowley. He started doing weird things. He started uh I mean, just read his story, guys. Just read his story. That's a prime example of people not knowing what they're doing. Okay, with this, and he was advanced. I mean, he was pretty advanced. He was literally doing witchcraft work and occult work for a long period of time before that. So that should also let you know. Okay, that should also let you know. Again, it's just like driving a car, right? It's just like driving a car. If you never drove before, okay, this is, I got to try to make things so simple. If you never drove before, would you just hop in a car and start driving on the highway? Now, I'm not saying that you driving a car is bad, or it's you know it's something you shouldn't do. What I'm telling you to do is get educated. I'm telling you always to educate yourself in any of these things, because guess what? These people on YouTube are not going to educate you. I don't even have the time to educate you fully on this topic because I don't have the time, guys. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I just don't have the time for that. Literally, you're always going to have to put the bulk of your education on yourself. The, people that will educate you, of course, are getting paid to do it. Like teachers and stuff, they're literally paid to educate you. All right. Um, and they're with you for a long period of time to educate you because it's a lot of work, you know. So I can always help you. I can give you ideas. I can update you on things. But as far as like it's like more advanced topics like that, I wouldn't feel like a genuine person if I tried to educate you on YouTube with that. I'm going to give you something, of course. I'm going to give you some things, but I would probably have to dedicate a whole channel just to channeling. All right. And that would be taking a lot of time and energy. Okay. Now, but still, again, I do have my services and stuff like that too. But again, those are being purchased. So, but yeah, it's a deep topic. What you guys want to do is continue to study. If you're into channeling and you don't know about witchcraft, you have no idea what you're doing. Okay, because the channeling is an aspect of what we call witchcraft today. And witchcraft is not bad, by the way. I'm not one of those people that says witchcraft is evil or anything, but you need to educate yourself on the topic, guys. You need to educate yourself on the rules and regulations, just like you need to educate yourself on driving a car before you drive the car. Okay. So I channel, but I don't do it for fun. I cannot do it just like that. I will get that feeling the spirits wants to talk through me. Maddie Champer saying, yesterday somebody gave me a handshake and my gut feeling was telling me that they were sending me bad energy towards me. I cleansed myself the same day. I mean, yeah, like I said, anytime you're interacting with somebody, you are exchanging energy. We're all exchanging energy right now at this moment. Hold on, guys. We're all exchanging energy right now at this moment. Okay. So but there's nothing to fear when you're exchanging energy with people, as long as you've built your foundation. All my older videos, a lot of my older videos, guys, are all me telling you and explaining how to build your foundation. I also have a video as a live stream on how to protect your energy in public. Okay, so you won't have to worry about whether the environment is negative or not. Okay, because you've effectively built your aura field. That's what you're doing, right? When you're trying to heal yourself and you're trying to reach spiritual enlightenment, what you're doing is building your aura field. The stronger your aura field, the more so-called protected you are. Okay, and it's not really so much, I mean, it's protected from outside influences because we can get influenced very easily. Just look at life, period. We all have idols and stuff, right? That's because we're influenced by somebody else's energy. So whoever you consider an idol to you or somebody that you really admire, they're influencing you. Okay. And there's nothing wrong with that. I'm just letting you know that's how human beings are. And there's never going to be a point in your life where you're not influenced by somebody. All right. But what you can do is stop your energy from being influenced by energies that are not supportive to who you are. How do you know if an energy is not supportive to who you are? It leads you down a path that's opposite to your happiness. Okay. So, like for example, it might be addiction or something, like somebody's influencing you to be addicted to something or whatever. I'm just giving an example, but that's you being influenced by something that's going against your true nature. Or it could be even simple as something as you're being influenced to getting into a career field that's not what you want to do. It's not where you want to be at. You're just around somebody who it excels in that career path and it looks shiny, it looks new, it looks perfect to you. So you want to jump on the bandwagon. So you're influenced to do that because of that person. And it's not healthy for you. Not saying that the actual career is bad or not healthy, but it's not healthy for you because that's not what you truly want to do. And anytime you're going against your own nature is when your body starts to fight itself and you start becoming depressed and you start becoming anxiety, you get negative thoughts, you get unhealthy, so on and so forth, as you can see, right? Okay. So, um, again, just to go over, right? Everybody, every being on this planet has a string attached to them going towards the universal consciousness. And this is what they mean by we're all one, because every one of these strings are going to the same place. Okay. But remember, that string that's originally attached to your being, which will be your body, is what makes you you, your true personality. Okay. Who you are is in makeup. All right. So again, making it very simple, like explaining it to a child. If you have bring another string into the same being, into the same body, okay, one is going to start outweighing the other. What happens if you bring another string, okay, and then another one, and then whatever it is? But even if you just bring another one is going to be outweighing the other. Most likely, the one that's outweighing is the external string. Okay, why is that? It's because that spirit is most likely stronger because it hasn't been in bodily form. Okay. Remember, your spirit is being concentrated, it's being downloaded, okay, to form solidity, to form a solid, which is your body. Okay. It's being condensed. So another spirit is fully active. So that's why it's more powerful. It's going to be a bigger and more powerful string that's being attached to your being. Then again, the original string is no longer there. And all of a sudden, you have a robotic individual that doesn't even know who they are anymore. Because that's what it is. That's what we call true possession. Okay. Nothing to be scared of. Again, just like driving the car is nothing to be scared of, but it's something to be aware of for you, for anybody that's out there, supporting that. Just again, just look at the results. Okay. I already gave you one big result. I already gave you one big result was Aleister Crowley. I mean, here's the thing, guys, and here's another thing. A lot of these people that say they channel are not really doing it, or they just don't know how to really do it in the first place. Okay, so that has to be cleared up too. To be honest, it takes a lot of work. It takes a lot of dedication and study to even know how to do it in the first place. A lot of these YouTubers and stuff, man. But you can also tell who really has done it because they don't seem normal anymore. Okay, unless they know exactly what they're doing, but most of the time you can tell who has done it. Okay, LG, you're saying I assume it would be idiotic to think I can juggle around with channeling spirits. Not necessarily. Just like I wouldn't say you're idiotic if you decide to drive a car. That's not what I'm saying here. What I'm saying is it would be idiotic for you not to study and educate yourself. Just like I would think it would be idiotic for you to hop in a car if you've never drove it before, you don't know what you're doing, and then hop on the highway. Same idea here. I'm not saying it's channeling is evil. I already told you the whole reason why beings were channeling in the first place is because they were in times of crisis where they needed to do so, because they were coming up from the fall of man. All right. Remember, life is a cycle, guys. Humanity has always went like this. So all those, like all the time, the so-called primitive times, right? That was us coming up from the fall of man, the destruction of man, of humanity, which was what caused the ice age and what caused the tons of volcanic eruptions that destroyed everything. And then all of a sudden we had to start from the bottom again. This is true occult history. Again, I can't fully educate you on this topic because that's not really what my channel is dedicated to. But I'm leading you there to let you know that life goes in a cycle, right? And what happens is we reach this top pinnacle, then we destroy ourselves, then some of us survive, and then we start all the way at the bottom again of primitive, so-called primitive. Or we're trying to rebuild, got to learn language again, we got to learn writing, we got to learn civilization, and we go up and we get to the prime and then we destroy ourselves again. It's just like the cycle in astrology. Same thing, guys. It's the same thing. Um, so I actually spent a lot longer on these topics than I actually wanted to. Is there any questions, guys? I'm like, is there any questions out there? Again, concerning anything, it doesn't matter what the topic is. This is Q&A, guys. Um, I'm like literally sweating in here because I had to close my windows because it was raining so hard. Is there any questions, guys? Um, concerning anything, concerning channeling, concerning the retrogrades. Shout out to everybody that's participating so far. LG, shout out to you. Rustling Superstar, shout out to you. Shout out to everybody. Haru El Raj, shout out to everybody in the chat room. Uh, okay, shout out to everybody. Um, so another thing I want to talk about, since um we're on the, like, again, I told you that the energy for the solstice starts today, actually. Yeah, we're at the 20th. All right. So I know they said that the solstice is officially June 21st, but I already told you guys the peak of the solstice is June 22nd. That's the energy peak. Okay. But the energy has started today. All right. The energy has started today. That means the gate is open, guys. Okay. The gate is open. I'm wondering, how can I know the difference between fear and deception? As in, what is Aline, you're asking what is fear-based thinking? Um, I mean, of course you have to fear something. All right. I'm not, here's another thing, guys. I'm not telling you to, I mean, it's impossible not to fear anything anyway, because there's things that you have to fear. Like, all right, you may have a fear of jumping off of a bridge because that's going to bring you bodily harm and it's going to make you deceased, right? Okay. But what I mean is, see, the difference between that and what we have as fear today, we know we're no longer in the wilderness anymore because we've actually evolved, which we always do. Humanity always goes up, right? So like we always evolve, but then we start destroying. Okay. So we're no longer having to worry about, for the most part, uh hard basic nature threats. Like, for example, like most of us are not really worried about if a bear is going to come and eat us in the middle of night, in the middle of night, because we have a house that we've built. Okay, that's evolution. Okay, of course the ideal evolution is that we build it from nature to interact with nature. So for example, our whole household will be built off of wood, and it really didn't take as much from nature, and our light sources are maybe, who knows, I mean, I can go on and on. Okay. uh so we don't have to worry about, again, getting eaten by a bear for the most part in the middle of the night. We don't have to worry about a pack of wolves coming and eating us, or like, if it's, for the most part, that's what I'm saying. So what happens is we have these fears, they transmute into something else. Like, I have social anxiety. Okay. So what happens is that you become very negative because of the fear-based thinking, which is, social anxiety will be considered fear-based thinking. Because what are you exactly afraid of? I know people that have true social anxiety. I used to have it. You can't really explain it, right? It's just like a moment you just feel like you need to get out of there. But that's fear-based thinking because there's no reason to fear. So that's what it really is. When you have like no reason, no logical reason to fear anything, that's when it's just what we call negative fear-based thinking. There's no logical reason why you need to fear. Like, a fear of talking in front of people, like doing a public speech or something like that. There's no logical reason. I mean, you could say, well, if I mess up, people are going to laugh at me, but your life is not in danger, is what I mean. You're not in danger. Okay. Even like going back to the car thing, like some people is like, oh, I don't want to drive a car because I'm gonna crash. And yeah, that could be happening. That could happen. But if you educate yourself, right, you won't have to worry about that for the most part. Because yeah, you're always taking a risk every time you walk out the door. Your life itself is nothing but a risk. Okay. But if you educate yourself properly, for the most part, you'll live a decent life. Now, of course, things are going to happen in your lifetime that are unexpected, and that's what it is. But again, it's no reason to, because again, you can go forever on fear. You can say, what if lightning strikes me right now? What if all of a sudden my roof collapses? What if this? So what I mean is when you're constantly what if, instead of just living your life, instead of just doing the things that you love to do, you're constantly, what if this happens? What if that happens? What if I don't make it? What if people laugh at me? That is what we call negative fear-based thinking. Okay. Now, this, as far as deception, I mean, that's just when somebody's not being true and honest to you, right? You're being deceived. In the spiritual community, everybody's being deceived because this is the new religion now. Okay. As far as the surface level, they all know that regular religion is dead and gone for the most part. Like, as far as like the Bible and all that stuff, even though you need to hold on to that, you need to study the Bible, the Quran, the scriptures from Buddha and all this stuff, and the ancient Sanskrit from in Hindu in the Hindu religion. You need to study this stuff. But again, because a large amount of other people are saying fuck the Bible, everybody else is saying that as well, because that's what sheep do. They do what everybody else is doing. Okay. So the deception that we have today, which is the New Age movement, is built on actual good premise, and it's built on actual things that can help you. But then what happens is that humanity does what it does, and the society does what it does, and they start twisting everything, just like they did with the Bible and everything. It's built on good premise. It's built on things that can actually help you. But then society twists it. They rewrite things. They want to impose. They change things up, and then it becomes a religion. So literally, the New Age movement is the new religion. It's the one religion of the one world government. The one world government is the internet. If you guys didn't catch on to that yet, you must be sleeping. But you should already know the one world government is the internet. Okay, your one real religion is the New Age movement. Like I said, we're in the middle of the change. Okay. So what I mean by like things like I said about Mercury retrograde, people are being deceived about the retrogrades. People are being deceived about channeling. People are being deceived about shamanism. People are being deceived about Reiki. Okay. I shouldn't have to go through all these topics, because literally, if you do your own research, you'd be able to find out where they're deceiving you at. All the topics I just named are real things, and you can actually use and you can actually study. But what is being told on the surface is deception. Okay. What I mean by the surface is things that are really accessible to you. So the first page of Google, for the most part, is probably deception. When you search something on Google, everything that pops up on that first page is most likely deception. Not all of it, not all the time. So don't just, go by that strict detail, like, okay, whatever's on this first page, none of it's true. I mean, you have to search. My point is this. I want you to search, okay? To actually search. Because people say I searched on Google, but most of the time you just look on that first. Most of the time you only look at the first couple of things on the page. You don't even look at the whole page. Let's be honest. That's not effectively searching. You're just finding what you want to see. All right. So the next topic you search, right? I want you to truly search it. I want you to truly study it. I want you to look at different sources. I want you to find out where these sources came from. I want you to do your diligence in this. And then once you get adept to doing this all the time, you'll be just like me. So as soon as you hear some bullshit, you'll be able to spot it right on. You'll be like, oh God, they're saying what everybody else is saying right now. Oh man, like you're one of those people. You're just saying whatever. You're just saying what the next YouTuber was saying. You're just saying what the next blogger was saying. You're just copying off of what everybody else is doing because that's the wave right now. I'm trying to tell you the new wave is the new age. I'm trying to tell you it's not fully transitioned yet, but this is the new wave, guys. We're in it right now. We're in the middle of that transition. This is what's happening now. This is the new thing. This is the new prize. So as you know, more and more people are going to get on this stuff. More and more people are going to be interested. More and more people are going to be putting their own twist on it. Next thing you know, they're going to have a Christian version. I mean, they're not going to be called that, but before you know it, you're going to have a Christian, Judaism, and Islam, three different fractions of the same dang information, because that's what it is, literally, and Buddhism too. Buddhism, Christian, Islam, Judaism, all fractions of the same information, but it's because somebody put their own twist on it, and somebody put their own twist on it, and then they went that way and then made some other changes, and this person put their own twist on it and they went that way and made their own. Next thing you know, it's four different fractions of the same information. And then it becomes, oh, if you don't follow this way, you're gonna die. You're gonna burn in hell. And matter of fact, I'm gonna kill you if you don't follow my way. Again, history always repeats itself. This is why it's important to understand history, guys, because you'll be able to see it. It's always been like this in human history, where we start something new, and then there's all these different fractions created. Then we're killing each other over it. We're arguing. We're saying that person's wrong. And this is why I say arguing with people doesn't matter. Okay, arguing with people doesn't matter about this stuff. It's very rare that I take up an argument. Okay. Okay, it's very rare because it's no use. Go ahead, if you don't want to believe it, just then go ahead and do it and be you, you know. But I will advise you to just do effective research. Half the time, we're gonna agree with each other if you just do effective research. You just find it, you know. Just don't be like everybody else when they just watch one YouTube video or look at one blog that was written by somebody, living in their mom's basement, and then take that as true fact. I mean, we're at the point where we can't even take scientists as true fact. I mean, well, at least they tell you. See, the people take science as true fact. They tell you it's a theory. I want you guys, anybody has time to go and look at the definition of theory. Okay. At least the science community is telling you the truth. Sorry, Haru Al Ra. I don't know why your comment was blocked. I just made it public though. That means this shit is about to get crazy. But yeah, at least the science community, we always bang on science, right? And always bang on politicians and stuff. But half the time these guys are telling you something, but you're just not paying attention. Scientists tell you all the time that their hypothesis is a theory. Even the word hypothesis, you guys need to get your definitions together. It's a theory, guys. It's not a fact. But the people, when we hear it, we disregard the word theory and we say, "Oh, this is what it really is. The sciences did some studies on this, and this is what it means." And then because we're the sheeple mind, everybody just goes with that wave, and next thing you know, it's a fact. The science community, 99% of what science is telling you are theories. Okay. our theories, guys, and that's a scary thing to think about. I don't want to say scary, but that's a real interesting thing to realize. Okay, 99% of the things that you think are fact are actually not. We are actually just saying, hey, well, we can't really come with a solution, so we don't really know. We're just going to give you our best guess. And these are people that are no more smarter than you are. They just studied a little bit more. They just, dedicated themselves to that topic. But they're no more smarter than you are. If you decided that you wanted to really learn something and you put your mind to it, I know this sounds so cliche, you will become a master at it. I mean, it's just simple as that. It's just half the time people just don't want to put in effort. I told you. What's funny to me is you'll put in effort in working for somebody else, just to get a few bucks, right? You'll put in so much effort in working for a company that you don't even believe in. But a lot of people don't to really learn what true life is and to learn themselves. Okay. So I appreciate everybody in here. I thank you guys all for watching. I've talked for a long time. I don't know how long exactly. um, but guys, literally, like I said, study thyself. Get those astrology readings. If you want an astrology reading with me, contact me at occulthealing22@gmail.com. The email's in the description of the video. You already know. Same thing with the tarot readings, uh with everything else. How to make money from home session. I know it gets kind of redundant with me repeating it, but again, like I said, anybody that understands real life, you should be promoting your services, guys. So if you're interested in any of my services, just contact me, occulthealing22@gmail.com. Okay, the email's in the description of this video. Is there any other questions before I hop off this? I'm super hot. Any questions? I'll give you guys a minute for anybody that has a question or anything that I can answer real quick. Any questions concerning anything? I know I only got to talk about Mercury retrograde and channeling. I didn't realize how long I was going to be speaking. I had a couple other ones. I wanted to talk about shamanism. I wanted to talk about Reiki as well. Because there's a lot of deception clouding those topics as well. So know thyself. You're saying in one of your videos, you mentioned about darkness and how they are programming us to fear it at an early age via scary movie. Would you mind talking more deeply about it? Um, that's in the same thing. I'm glad you brought that up, bro. That's a nice question. That's the same thing, as far as the feminine, because again, the darkness represents the feminine, brother. So it's in alignment with what I was talking about earlier when I was saying that everything in society, anything dealing with the feminine, they have deemed evil or they've deemed scary, or of course they put their imagination on it, like ghosts and goblins and stuff like that. And they put their imagination on it to make you want to watch the movie, obviously. But there's always going to be a seed of truth in everything. Okay. So best believe we're talking about spirit and stuff like that. But what they don't tell you is that a lot of these characteristics of these scary movies and stuff really represent the animal, the bodily instincts, and um the bodily instincts and the emotions, because they are so scary to your masculine mind, because it represents unstructured. The masculine mind is only comfortable with structure. But the thing is, like I said, you have to become the master of your masculine and your feminine, because you're going to need both of these to become successful in this world. Okay. You can't become successful just one or the other. Okay. And they know that. And that's, of course, why, like I told you before, if you want to control a whole bunch of people, all at one time, the best, most logical thing to do is to make them very masculine. So they all walk in straight lines. You know exactly where they're going. You know exactly what they're capable of. Okay. So again, the scary movies and stuff, and the reason why they're making you fearful of anything feminine is because they want you to stay away from anything feminine. Okay. They want you to stay away from anything feminine. It's to the point where the sexes are starting to separate. I wouldn't be surprised if we no longer prize sexual activity anymore with the opposite sex and people are getting pregnant in laboratories. Okay. I'm pretty sure there was a movie about it or something. Who knows? I don't know. I'm pretty sure there was a movie about that where they weren't even having physical sex anymore because they don't want to deal with that, and everybody is, they impregnate the woman in laboratories and stuff like that. Take the sperm from a male, impregnate her in laboratories. I wouldn't be surprised if that was in the future because this is to the point where they just become so masculine. Everybody, okay? You can't have attraction you can't have attraction without friction, because that's what attraction is. That's what sexual activity is. It's friction. Going inside of a woman, friction. Okay. um if you're a man and your woman pisses you off, it's because she's the opposite and you're causing friction. As a woman and your man's pissing you off because he doesn't think like you, because he's the opposite of who you are, and it's causing friction. That's what causes attraction. That's the funny thing about it. This is why it's a thin line between love and hate. That's why it's a thin line between love and hate, guys, is because you love it. You secretly love what's opposite of you, but you logically dislike it. But you keep running back because you secretly crave it. Okay. So again, they're programming you to fear. And here's another thing, it will be very intelligent for them to do that, to make you not, because then they can control who's coming onto this planet. If they're injecting sperm into the woman via laboratories, right? Of course, this is, I don't know if they're doing it today. I was about to say, then they can control what energy is coming to what energy is coming to this planet. So who knows? That might have been a plot too, where because the results of everybody being masculine, nobody is attracted to each other. They start manually making women pregnant in laboratories, and now they can control who gets pregnant. They can control what energy comes to this planet, because with true love, you don't have no control over that. You never know. You just never know. But you should start to know if you know your characteristics, though. If you don't know your characteristics, you need an astrology reading. Okay. You know, I told you it's your map. Get to know your characteristics, get to know your makeup so you can move around in this. All right. Then you won't be guessing about attraction. You'll know right away. You'll be like, I'm logically attracted to this person, but I know the logic does not have rulership here in the for in this in the topic of attraction. You should not be logically picking your partners, because guess what? Attraction is not ruled by the masculine. Okay. Attraction is not ruled by the masculine. If you've been paying attention to anything I've been saying the last couple of videos, you should know that every single uh environment, every single topic in life is ruled by an energy. And attraction and sex and connecting with others is not ruled by the masculine. So why are you constantly impressing the masculine on your relationships? You're logically picking, So again, the darkness is the feminine. The darkness is beautiful. Okay. The feminine also is a representation of your bodily instincts and your emotions. Very scary to it's very scary to the logical mind and your so-called higher consciousness, this perfect self that always does everything perfect, which is good. Like higher consciousness, you know, gives you, makes you think about giving charity to somebody, makes you think about helping people, makes you think about sacrificing yourself for others. That's your higher consciousness. It's good, right? It's good. Okay. Your logical mind makes you analyze things and it's like, all right, you know, this would be the most effective way to get more income to feed my family or whatever. Oh, thank you, ASMR. You always support me. You're always donating to me. I really appreciate you. You're definitely one of my favorite followers and subscribers. You've been with me for a long time. All right. Shout out to everybody that's been with me on this journey for it's been a couple years now, right? It's been a long journey of me coming back and going back and forth and coming back. So I appreciate you. I love you. Um, uh, so let's see, Maddie Champ, you're saying, is there such thing as having an immature or mature spirit? Um, yes, but not in the way that we view mature and immature today. Because we think, immature is a bad. It's like you don't know what you're doing in life. Now, what we're referring to is how old your spirit is. How many times have you reincarnated on this planet? That lets you know how mature your spirit is. Okay. And also it will trickle down into your mental because the spirit is up here, your mind is here. That will trickle down. That maturity is going to trickle down into your mind. So you're going to come off more mature in your mind as well. Now, maturity truly means how much you understand this reality. Again, of course, if you've been into this reality many, many times, you're going to know how it works, right? Better than somebody who hasn't been in this reality many, many times. Now, you might not be able to effectively remember all your past lives. Of course, you're not going to be able to do that. But that DNA, that subconscious information is going to be passed down to you. Okay. So you're automatically just going to have that feel of knowing how reality works. Okay. If you're listening to this information, most likely you're a mature spirit. Okay. And I want to take that further. If you're effectively practicing this information, you actually making a difference with this information, you will be considered a mature spirit because you feel that it's truth. Okay, you can feel that it's truth. Okay, the people that are not mature, they go back to doing their regular life stuff, which is only focusing on their small perception of everything. That's not mature. Okay, and it shows in their relationships, it shows in their career, it shows in their character that they're not mature. Okay, like I said, it shows in their relationships they can't keep a relationship because they're too focused on their perception. Anytime they break out with somebody, they blame the other person. They say, I'm the one that was so good, but that it was because this individual, and I always attract people who are not up to my standards and blah blah blah. That's how people that are not mature sound. Okay. Or somebody, let's talk about what career, blah blah blah. Uh, I can't never get the job that I want because these bosses don't pay attention and all this blah 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 because they're so in here and they're so small with their perception. Okay. And their friendships as well. The Regardless of what people say, very mature spirits are very liked by others because they become like the fathers and mothers of society. So naturally, you just are very liked by people when you have a mature spirit. Now, here's the thing, guys. The beauty of being a human being is that you can change these things. pat yourself on the back for being a human being that, let's just say, dang, you're resonating. You're like, dang, I'm resonating with not being mature. Well, guess what? You're a human being, right? You actually can change these things. Okay. You actually can make yourself mature if you just focus on it. If you just start doing intelligent things, if you start analyzing where your weaknesses are, analyzing them, and your weaknesses in your maturity. Like I said, patience, okay, is a weakness in your maturity. I mean, a lack of patience is a weakness in maturity because we have to know that if you plant a seed, it has to take time to grow. Okay. Now, LG, we're not speaking on that kind of maturity because again, the child of a heart, the mind of a child is the maturity that I'm talking about. But what you're referring to is what other people claim mature and what's immature and stuff like that. But I've explained it many times that maturity is not that. Maturity is your understanding of how life works. Okay. Being a child at heart is a very mature thing. Because what does a child at heart mean? It means you're open. It means you're honest. It means you're loving, you're caring. You don't judge right off the bat. It means you're energetic. It means you flow with the tide. It means you are excited by the nature. You're excited by your own body. You're excited by the thought of something new. You're curious. That is maturity. Okay? There's a reason why in the scriptures Jesus Christ told you to have the mind of a child. Why would he tell grown people to think like children? We just confuse immaturity with being a child. That's not it. Most adults are the most immature people on this planet. The older they are, the most likely, the more immature they are because they get sucked in slowly, slowly, slowly. They get smaller and smaller, stuck in their ways, and they get so tight and rigid and so blah. Okay? Children are the most mature people on this planet. All right. But they're just unstructured, they're unrefined, they're raw talent. What you're supposed to do is refine yourself the older you get. Okay. You should be refining yourself, not closing yourself. So, like I said, children are the most mature, but they're raw. They're raw talent, right? They need a little bit of structure. They need to refine themselves. They need to polish themselves up. So as an adult, you're supposed to polish the raw talent up. You're like a manager to an artist. If you have a child, right? If you have a son or a daughter, you're supposed to play the manager role, not the dictator role. You're supposed to polish them up, lead them on the way. You're not supposed to say, guess what? You can only believe in this and you have to do this because I believe in it and you follow by my rules and that's how you should be doing life. No, you should be getting to their true desires. You should be finding out who they are as an individual. Don't try to stamp your stamp on their forehead. We got to break the cycle because that's how we were raised. Our parents stamped it on our forehead and said, "This is what you are, and this is what you have to do. If you don't like it, you can get out my house." Okay, that's why all of us are messed up because our parents put that stamp. If you have children, or if you're expecting children, or if you want children, you want to play. You want to play the mentor slash manager. You do not want to play the dictator. Okay, because dictators abuse. You're abusive to your children, regardless if you know it or not. If you're a Christian and you tell your children they have to be a Christian, you're abusive. You're just not physically abusive, but you're still abusive. You're mentally abusive. Okay. We were all abused as children. Okay. We all have trauma. But can we break the cycle? Yes. You can start by breaking the cycle with your children, by leading them, by finding out who they truly are. Who are you? What are your true desires? Don't force them to go a certain path. Let them blossom. Just water their plant. Give them some sunlight. Okay. Give them some sunlight. All right. All right. You want to, oh, Haru El Ra, let me get to your question. I'm sorry, brother. Okay. Find out the astrological chart of your children, right? Find out who they are, their characteristics, their makeup. But hey, I mean, if you're really looking at your child, most likely you'll be able to know a lot of their characteristics anyway. You'll be able to know that, and don't try to change their characteristics. Try to enhance their characteristics. And what you'll do, trust me, when you get older, you're gonna when you get older and you're in your 50s and 60s, and you're looking at your children, if you set the right path for them and you help them blossom, when you're on your decline, they're gonna be the ones to help you. They're gonna be super successful in this world, and they're gonna be the ones that help you. But remember, if you were abusive as a parent and all you did was impose and lay down that hammer on them, they're gonna abuse you on your decline. All right, you better watch it. They're going to abuse you in your decline, and they're going to throw you in a house in one of those places where they just, let somebody else tend to your needs or whatever, whatever. So abuse comes in many different forms. Okay. So, Haru El Rai, can you talk about 5G and its effect on our thoughts? Um, it does have an effect, but not as a big effect as many people think. If you're following the information that I'm dropping. Like I said, how to make money from, I mean, not, what am I talking about? How to protect your energy in public information, the information when I brought up the magnets, keeping the magnets around you at all times. Get yourself some magnets. You're keeping crystals around you. Uh, if you're constantly meditating, if you're constantly analyzing your thoughts, if you're constantly taking breaks from the internet and your phone and things, it's not going to have that much of an effect on you if you're doing these things. Take a break from technology sometimes. I could go into Haru El Rod. I could go into a deeper conversation about that, but that's going to take a lot of time. But like I said, to put it short and to the point, if you're doing all these things that I just spoke on, there's no reason to um, even bring it up. Still a good question. It's just it takes a long answer. Okay, so again, guys, uh get these study thyself, like I told you before. Get yourself a diary, start writing in your diary, start analyzing what you've wrote. Okay, get your astrology chart reading and analyze it and apply it and do more research. Again, all those who've got an astrology reading with me, you should be doing more research on the topics that I spoke about in the reading. I'm just gave you the direction so you don't have to go all over the place and you're trying to find all this. Because like I already told you, the main problem in people learning today is there's overabundance of information. Everybody's trying to take in everything all at one time. It's not how we learn effectively. And this is why we have a lot of smart, dumb people today. Okay, they just know small little pieces of things all over the place, but they don't have a structure of knowledge, because They're trying to absorb everything at one time. You cannot absorb information like that. Okay. How I learned all this stuff is I got into one thing, then that led me to something else, then that led me to another thing, and I got deeper in this thing, and then that led me to something else. And then you see, I went and it was like a puzzle. Okay. I didn't just gather all the pieces and try them all, stick them together all fast and stuff like that. I got one piece, then I got another piece, stuck that together, then I got another piece, stuck that together. So again, all those who've had an astrology reading with me, you should be researching more on those topics. You should be studying effectively and learning more about the things that I brought up. If you don't have the astrology, if you didn't get an astrology reading with me, book those with me as soon as possible, because I'm getting a lot of consultations lately. Every time between June, July, and August, I don't know why, I get a lot of consultations. So you know it becomes starting to become hectic, and I gotta push certain people away. I gotta turn people away. So as soon as possible. um is anything else that I need to speak on, guys? I mean, I did a lot of speaking today. Make sure you guys are taking this solstice. Make sure you guys are focusing on the solstice. Okay, make sure you guys are manifesting. Remember, the gate of manifestation is open. If you've had the how to make money from home session with me before, and you got that from me, right, and you haven't been experiencing anything, this is the time. What are you trying to get out of it? Which portion in the session are you trying to manifest? Put it out there right now. Okay, because I know there's some people that are struggling. They didn't, but half the time those people that told me they're struggling didn't even start. And that's the problem with our people. And when I say our people, I mean all of humanity. Everybody that's outside the 1%, is that you say you're struggling, but you didn't even start. So how are you struggling? Like, you're struggling with your procrastination, but you're not struggling with the information. You're not struggling with your business. You didn't start yet. So if you didn't start yet, start now. Talk to some people. Do exactly what I told you to do in the session. Okay. Uh, so yeah, hit me up, guys, for any of the services, occulthealing22@gmail.com. Or if you want a one-on-one consultation, let's just say you need help with this solstice, you can get a one-on-one consultation with me. No time limits. None of my live sessions have time limits, guys. So I'm like super hot and I'm sweating. Okay. So I appreciate everybody. Shout out to everybody. Shout out to all of you in the chat room right now. I love you. Thank you for continuing to support me. All the people, everybody that donated to me today, much love. And I'll be sending you energy. Best believe I send that energy back, and you will receive an abundance of energy from me. And again, I can't thank you enough, because when, like I told you guys before, when I first started on this channel, I didn't, I didn't think it was going to be anything. So yeah, Hotep, Ashe, Namaste, one love, Shalom, Islam, um, whatever greeting, whatever it is, I appreciate you all, and pay attention to the solstice. Okay, guys, pay attention to the solstice. This is the day of Jupiter. Think expansion today. Okay. Think outside of yourself today. Think higher consciousness today. Give something back to somebody. Um, think charity today. Think travel today. Okay. And get out there in the world. Don't just stay behind closed doors. Okay. As soon as I get off of this thing, I'm out there in the world talking to people. Why do you think I look tired? Okay. Because I've been putting so much work in out here in this world. And of course it wears down on you, but you also need a break. So I'll be taking my break soon. That's another reason why you want to get those sessions with me and get those consultations with me, because I'll be taking a break sometime soon, just like my last one where I took a break for like 2.5 months. I said I can't do no sessions in that whole like 2.5 months. So definitely get with me, guys, and contact me at my email. Emails in the description of this video. Hotel One Love. Keep the energy high. Thank you.